Most readers of Left Horizons and activists on the left are already painfully aware of what happened in Thursday's elections. The surge of votes for Reform UK was more brutal and dramatic than even we had anticipated in our pre-election editorial, where we warned that Starmer was on course to throw away Labour votes. The warning didn't just come true, it was confirmed with devastating clarity. Yes, many of the seats being defended were Tory held, but both Labour and the Tories lost about 2/3 of what they previously held. Labour's collapse in the Runcorn by-election was particularly damning. Among many policies that left Labour voters feeling betrayed, it was the removal of the winter fuel allowance that became the emblem of government failure. It was this issue that voters raised most loudly on the doorstep. In Labour's traditional heartlands, places like Doncaster and Durham, the party was all but wiped out. And that, more than anything else, is down to the economic policies of the Starmer clique. The very people who once told us Corbyn would destroy Labour are now presiding over its disintegration. Starmer's so-called election genius Morgan McSweeney has done more damage than any Conservative could ever hope for. British capitalism is in deep crisis. Investment in manufacturing, infrastructure and services is falling behind its G7 peers, and productivity is stagnating. Austerity wasn't just a choice, it was the logical outcome of a rigged market economy designed to benefit the rich and squeeze the rest. The British capitalist class has no plan for a way out. It's lost control of its historical political vehicle, the Tory party, which is now so broken it even walked itself into the catastrophe of Brexit. Reform UK, however, is filled with ex-Tories, and as they peel off more support from the old party, an eventual realignment between them becomes not just possible but likely. A pact or coalition is no longer unthinkable, it's a looming threat. Meanwhile, the Labour Party is under the control of a right-wing cabal led by Keir Starmer. He won the leadership on a lie, promising 10 pledges that he threw in the bin the moment he got the job. Under David Evans, the party machine was used to hollow out democracy, shut down local branches, and drive out long-time members. Starmer's approach is to manage capitalism better than the Tories. Nothing more, nothing less. Yet the Financial Times, the mouthpiece of British business, still backed him the day after the election disaster. In their May 2nd editorial, they wrote, "Labour's best option is to adopt a laser-like focus on growth and jettison anything that detracts from that goal. That strategy has risks, but it may be the only way to restore its own and Britain's fortunes and fend off rivals that tout more radical but illusory solutions." On the same day, Starmer had a piece in the Times saying, "I will wake up every morning determined to go further and faster, not in a new direction, not with new ideas, just further and faster down the same failing road." We know what that means. More rightward drift, more aping Farage's flag-waving anti-immigrant nonsense. When it comes to economic policy, it's still hard choices all the way. But how long can Labour MPs and trade unions put up with this? According to the BBC, even some of Starmer's past supporters are now openly critical. One MP from the 2024 intake said, "This is not a verdict on our failure to deliver, it is a verdict on what we have delivered." People on the doorsteps are using the word betrayal. A defeated Labour councillor added, "It feels like a Labour Party that just isn't Labour enough." That rebellion is growing, with disability benefit cuts due in Parliament within weeks. Even Starmer's loyalists are threatening to jump ship. The leadership, aware of the danger, is considering allowing MPs to abstain without losing the whip, a clear sign they're bracing for a revolt. And with poll numbers showing that up to 250 Labour MPs could lose their seats, that rebellion might be far larger than expected. More important than what's happening in Westminster, however, is what's happening in the unions. 4 of the largest unions, Unite, Unison, Usdaw and GMB, are affiliated to Labour. All except Unite are dominated by right-wing officials who have backed Starmer from the start. But their support was conditional. Starmer promised a new deal for workers. That deal hasn't arrived. If it does, it'll be so watered down that it'll be useless. Public sector workers are being lined up for pay rises that don't even match inflation. There's only so long this portrayal can go on before a real revolt erupts inside the trade union movement. We'll see that opposition emerge in spring conferences, in internal union elections, and in regional and national Labour executive nominations. The pushback will come from below, from the rank and file, not from the overpaid union officials at the top. To defeat Reform UK, Labour cannot and must not copy their policies. Farage's right-wing populism won't be beaten by becoming a second-rate imitation. The Blue Labour project is a complete dead end. If voters want Farage's message, they'll vote for the real thing. The way to beat him is through bold socialist policies, one that speak to working class people on housing, health, wages, and public services. Many disillusioned Labour supporters are already drifting to the Greens or independent left candidates. At the local level, the idea of united left front candidates is going to gain traction. But nationally, with millions of trade unionists still affiliated to the Labour Party, there's still no alternative. And there will be a fight back within Labour. The affiliated unions are where it will begin. And when that opposition grows, it's going to blow a hole straight through the Labour right. How quickly it happens and what form it takes, we can't say yet. But it's coming. Back in July 2024, we wrote that the new government had ushered in a new phase in UK politics. That phase is defined by sharp changes and sudden turns in the class struggle. The local elections proved us right. Just 35% of voters backed the two traditional parties, down from 67% 25 years ago. The old system is collapsing. I mean, the Tories are in an even worse state than Labour. Their path leads inevitably towards a deal with reform. Kemi Badenoch is finished and whoever replaces her won't reverse the collapse. The bleeding will just continue. We are entering an era defined by mass opposition to a system that leaves people living in insecurity and decline. Every winning political campaign claims to offer change, but because the Labour movement has failed to offer genuine change, the slogan has been hijacked by charlatans and snake oil salesmen. Reform UK promises change, but keeps its real agenda hidden. Privatising the NHS, attacking union rights, stripping away public services. They sell xenophobia, but beneath that, they're preparing to make things even worse for working people. Voters in Durham County Council are already getting a taste of what Farage means by change. He's told council workers to look for alternative careers if they don't abide by the reform way. The national outlook may be grim, but a Tory reform government will quickly be found out. As the Financial Times put it, the reform surge shows Britain will keep voting for change until it sees it. Exactly. The shift to reform is not fundamentally about moving right, it's a cry for change. When reform fails, that cry will surge to the left. The working class is more powerful than ever, but its power is unrealised, unorganised, and unconscious. That has to change. We're not at the end of this period of transformation, we're at the beginning. There will be wild political swings in every direction. In that storm, we have to build a real socialist movement, one that can offer a way out of crisis, one that could offer real change. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Head over to www.lefthorizons.com for more insights and subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed. Read the full article on our website. Thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you next time.